What up, burnt ones? This is the Sunburnt podcast where we talk about comedy and tropical travel. To my right is my co-host. You know him from Netflix and his incredible stand-up special Move Closer. It's Philadelphia's own Chip Chantry.
And to my left is Emmy Award-winning writer, producer, and oil painter, Thomas O'Brien.
I don't want something that can mix with water.
No.
I like the oil paints. It makes me feel good to know they're going to stick around for a minute.
Thomas, are you an artist at all? Can you paint? Can you draw?
Not well. Like I've seen people work with the gift. You know, they can just do it, and I do not have that, but I can doodle.
No, I'm terrible. I am terrible. And when you say work with the gift, when you're saying that, I was like, is that did they get struck by lightning and they can see the future? That's what it felt like.
I think that's what it actually is like. I mean, you know it with comedy. We've been around. There's just certain people who they could do the work, but they don't need to. They just have more magic than everybody else.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And those people have all been struck by lightning at one point or another.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, so, I mean, is that why you keep running around in rainstorms carrying that big old golf club?
Yeah, I'm like, someday I am going to be able to do watercolor. My only goal. But I do have a goal, though, for today is to kick off this podcast hard.
Oh, shoot, Chip. I didn't know you were going to go so hard.
We're going to go hard. Let's go wild. Just turn things upside down. We're just taking ukuleles and breaking them left and right because that's who we are.
We're having an aggressive good time.
We're having a wonderful, pleasant, aggressive time.
Just in time for football season. It's right around the corner.
Yep.
I'm very excited. Chip, today this is how hard we're going.
Yeah, we actually are going hard.
We're not talking about the softest cruise ship in the world.
No.
We're talking about the hardest cruise ship in the world, which actually happens to be the largest cruise ship in the world.
Yep.
And then we're not talking about soft soaring prices. We're talking about the prices of travel actually dropping. This is something that's actually happening right now. We're going to get into that. We're talking about the man Jimmy Buffett facts, and we're also going to open up the good book and talk about a couple of world records. How's that for hard, buddy?
It is wild. And I will say my world record this week is hard.
We haven't been this hard in years.
Well, okay. Well, that actually, hopefully maybe we can get a sponsor to talk about that sometime.
I'm going to say it right now. I would turn down that sponsorship. I just could not with a straight face. Just cannot.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it.
If they actually offered us one, that might be a different story.
If they knocked on the door, I'm going to open it. Let's just say that. Speaking of opening the door, Thomas, let me grab my keys. Oh, here they were. I'm opening the door to this podcast right now.
This is the Sunburnt podcast where we talk about comedy and tropical travel. If that's up your alley, stay tuned. We're going hard. Front desk.
Hey, this is Mr. Chantry in room 308. I was wondering if you could come up here real quick. And by the way, have you seen the movie Tommy Boy?
Mr. Chantry, I'm not coming up there and reenacting that scene from Tommy Boy. And I can't/won't do that accent.
All right, well, can I come down and do it to you?
I can't stop you.
Be right down.
Chip! It's episode 28 of the Sunburnt podcast. I can't even believe this. We are 90 days away from Chip Chantry's Thanksgiving in Paradise.
That's 330s, baby. That's 3 months. We're 3 months out. This is the perfect time for you to make your plans, book those tickets to come to Hawaii with us this Thanksgiving. Come see a comedy show that I'm doing at the Blue Note in Waikīkī and hang out on the beach, tour around the islands. Let's have a blast this Thanksgiving.
On my refrigerator, I have this postcard from Waikīkī.
Mm-hmm.
It just hit me like a wave. I just saw it, and I was like, I knew it's getting close, 90 days away, and I could just picture myself floating in that water, feeling that sun. I was so transported recently, and I think it's because we are getting closer and closer, and I friggin' love it, Chip. Yeah. I love that feeling.
I'm getting psyched.
I've got a great feeling. Can I tell you what happened actually last night?
No.
Had an amazing...
No, Thomas, I said no. I said no, you could not.
Okay.
Tell me. So let's move on to another topic. So what should we talk about next? Tell me about what happened last night, Thomas.
Yeah, dude. So went out with some friends in Hollywood and taking it easy. Your boy was drinking waters.
I'm assuming when you go out with your buddies in Hollywood, you do the Walk of Fame. You put your hand in
Yes.
Judy Garland's handprints at the Chinese theater.
Yeah,
You're like getting your picture taken with a man dressed like
disgusting
Wolverine.
Elmo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah.
did you say disgusting Elmo?
Yes.
Did you know that that Philly has its own Elmo?
Is it gritty?
No. I mean, there is Gritty, there is the Philly Fanatic, but there's also Philly Elmo. This is a real thing. And
What
by
does
the way,
that even mean, Chip?
I'm gonna paint a picture for you, not with oil or watercolor. I'm gonna do it with words.
Okay.
Okay, it's a real thing. Philly Elmo there's I don't know if they do this in LA, but there is a small like I'm gonna call it like a drum corps. Like it's a couple of young men who walk around with drums and like like a bucket drummer in like the subway.
Yeah,
or something
I'm
like
picturing
that.
people whacking on buckets.
But they're like legit drums. And there's only like a handful of them, maybe like 3 or 4 of them. But they're a drum line, and they just walk the streets of Philadelphia with Elmo, with a guy dressed in a full Elmo costume.
Yeah.
Head to toe Elmo. And then I think that Elmo, or maybe it's a kid too, carries a bucket for tips.
Uh-huh.
And you can just hear them from blocks away. And it's usually in the early evening. And you're like, wait, what is that sound? What's going on? Oh, is that jackhammering? Oh, wait, no. And you're like, oh, Philly Elmo's here. And like, you get excited. I always get $1 out, and I drop a $1 in the bucket for Philly Elmo.
What an amazing example of branding, dude. Like that's some guys whacking on some drums.
Yeah.
It really feels like Elmo got in there and codified the whole group.
I believe he did.
I think that's kind of what I do for this podcast.
Yeah. Oh, you know what you also do for this podcast, Thomas?
Uh-huh.
We gotta put some slather on right now.
Oh my gosh, dude. I am so ready for some slather, man.
Because I'm getting ready for the story about you and your buddies going to the Grauman's Theater, checking out Hedy Lamar's Star. Going to I don't know, maybe Johnny Rockets, maybe Musso and Frank. I don't know.
Yeah.
Really checking out maybe like an FYE store. You're just like, you're out and about in Hollywood in the evening.
Out and about in Hollywood in the evening. Yeah, I don't really have as much reason to be in Hollywood anymore. There are some like entertainment events that are there every once in a while. But really what happened is I moved south of Los Angeles, and a lot of my friends moved north of Los Angeles, and it's just kind of a nice place to meet in the middle, and it's where we used to run around when we were kids. So out with my friends, they're having some drinks. We grabbed dinner, we saw a show, and then we went to a bar afterwards, and I was sipping on my water, and the only thing in the world that could have got me to have a drink last night happened.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Somebody walked up to me and handed me a drink that looked strangely familiar, yet I had never seen it before in real life. And they leaned over and said, "Excuse me, sir, this is your early check-in."
Okay.
Does that ring a bell to you, Chip?
Oh, your cocktail, the early check-in.
Yeah. So like we
from a couple episodes ago, where we created our own cocktails.
We had a contest to create the craziest or funniest tropical cocktails
drink,
that didn't exist before.
Of course.
And one of them was the early check-in, which is basically a pineapple mimosa with your room key inside of it. And it's 10 a.m., the early check-in.
Sure.
So I'm looking at this thing, and it's got like even the same garnish. Like they recreated the picture we had with it, and I kept it as a souvenir.
They didn't include the room key, did they? No. Come on.
Yeah.
Room key garnish.
Room key
right
garnish.
there.
So of course I had a late check-in, and they were just like, "I'm a burnt one. Love the podcast. Had to do this." So very excited. And then they let me know that them and 3 of their friends are coming to Hawaii, Chip.
That's wild.
Yeah.
We are
for
world
Chip
famous.
Chantry's Thanksgiving Paradise.
Yeah.
It was a really wild and unexpected experience. Really fun to see. Like, last week we talked about you're seeing more Hawaiian shirts show up at your show.
Yeah.
This is me out and about. Somebody creating a cocktail that we just imagined. And by the way, that's the only one of those cocktails I would even come close to drinking. A lot of them are very.
That's the good one. They picked the best one.
They picked the one that you could make. I don't know how hygienic that room key is. Like I didn't even ask. I was just like so taken back. Like, you do any kind of sterilization on this Ritz-Carlton key?
No, you take the drink and you drink it.
Yeah, you take. I took the drink. I drank it. Wasn't planning on it, but yeah, dude. It's just seeing the podcast get some fingers in the real world has been. I don't know. It's just been so fun for me. How about you?
That's incredible. I wish I had the same experience. I mean, the closest I came to that one time, I was handed a drink at a bar by this beautiful young woman who was, and it was kind of surprising to me. She comes up to me because she was sitting with this guy in a tracksuit all night, and she put this little white pill in the drink and then walked over and handed it to me.
Oh.
I took it. This is before the podcast. And I drank it, and then I woke up the next morning and I had one kidney.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not the early check-in. That's the early turn-in, Chip.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's the early turn-in. That's right. I should have asked for the early check-in. Yeah, you're right.
That's much a different drink.
Yeah.
But dude, it was really fun to be out and about and have that happen. So
yeah,
to the burnt ones out
incredible.
there, thank you so
excited.
much.
Congratulations to that burnt one. We welcome you aboard.
Yeah, and so excited to have them on board for the trip, man. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Well, Chip, I think we can just keep scooting along because we do comedy. We talk about tropical travel. I think we would be remiss not to talk about the breaking news this week.
Did it, go.
That the world's largest cruise ship is springing into action.
With a little spring in its step. That's right. The Royal Caribbean Star of the Seas has now set sail.
Oh, my gosh.
It's matched. The Royal Caribbean, I think it was called the Icon of the Seas, was the largest cruise ship ever built in 2024.
Yeah.
I guess I think its maiden voyage was 2024, and now its sister ship, just as large, the Star of the Seas, is now out there. And part of me is like, at some point, is this just going to become Waterworld? And are we all just going to be living on cruise ships when the land is no longer tenable?
Yeah, I think when the caps melt, if we can't get off the planet, the sea is the only place we have to go. And these ships are getting large enough where it's almost kind of feeling like, yeah, this feels like a normal sized city. Like, right. I was reading the rundown of what's available on that ship, and they do 7-day trips, and they have different entertainment for every night ship.
Yeah. And not only entertainment for every night, like instead of having like decks or sections, they literally refer to them as neighborhoods. There are 8 separate neighborhoods on this cruise ship. Like, so you could be on the same boat. Like most boats I've ever been on, like you can't turn around without hitting the other person.
Yeah, no, they're tight quarters usually. These ships are absolutely massive, but like the neighborhood thing is interesting because it could be for real or it could be some kind of marketing trick to make things seem like they aren't. But I get the feeling from reading the article that like these are very distinct areas that have immense size.
So there's Thrill Island, which is like a lot of the, I think like kind of like ropes courses kind of things, like more extreme sport.
Water slides, all that kind of stuff.
Water slides, all that stuff. So there's Thrill Island, there's Chill Island. I think you know where you and I would be.
We would be on Chill Island, buddy.
Totally be on Chill Island.
Oh, you want to go to Chill Island someday, Chip?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm there right now in my mind. There is the AquaDome, Surfside, the Hideaway, the Royal Promenade. They have one called Central Park, which that's just Central Park.
Yeah.
And then the Suite neighborhood, which is Suite spelled Suite. I think that's the ritzier place, or just the people with the suites. They're the only ones. It's the gated community of the ship.
Yes. Yeah, that makes total sense.
So
this is a real community then.
It is a real community. So these are literal neighborhoods on this ship. Although couple other ideas. If like if anybody from Royal or any of the other cruise lines are listening, you're designing your next ship.
Uh-huh.
I got a couple island neighborhoods that might be maybe more accessible to people, or just spice it up a little bit.
Yeah, no, these are some different options they can have in addition to the neighborhoods they've already created. I think they'd be lucky to have your suggestions, Chip.
Yeah. Okay. So how about so there's Thrill Island on this ship, right?
Yeah.
How about Thrill Island Heights?
Okay.
It's Thrill Island with the added thrill of pretty dangerous after dusk. So if you like extremes, this is the extreme.
Okay. Yeah. At a certain point,
like there's a water slide that actually circles around a literal trash barrel on fire. Like it just circles a trash barrel on fire the entire time. Like there is a rope swing where you jump over a El Camino on blocks. So I think there's that island. I think that could be a fun one. The gentrified poop deck.
Okay.
I mean, I think that's just self-explanatory. It's just the poop deck, and the hipsters has moved in and just built these $2 million condos.
Yeah, and the coffee's very expensive. It's
cupcake shops abounding.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that.
Little Bosnia. So it's just an area where you go in, and it's a lot of people from Bosnia Herzegovina, from that, from not too far from the Adriatic, just they're living the life. I think that would be fun. How about the old neighborhood? This is where when you walk into the old neighborhood, it's literally just people that you grew up with who still live in that neighborhood, and they're at the bar, and they're just giving you a hard time for moving out.
Yeah, it's a time capsule of who you once were.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I think the last one, I think the most exciting one that I thought of is Bowfinger Corner.
Okay.
And obviously, you know what that is, right? Are you aware of what Bowfinger?
Does it have anything to do with the Steve Martin movie Bowfinger?
Yeah, it's all of the activities, the drinks, the food. It's all themed on the 1999 Eddie Murphy Steve Martin film Bowfinger.
Okay, I think that's my favorite one.
Yeah.
I think that's my favorite one. I think that's the one that, a big cruise line is going to come along and pay the big dollars for.
Yeah.
Because that is a new experience.
That's
something.
IP. I mean, you can have Pirates of the Caribbean theme. You can have Marvel, Superman, Batman, Spider-Man themed, whatever it is.
It's been done.
Who's really dipping in 2025? Who's really literally cornering the Bowfinger market?
No, I think that's IP that's available. It's underused, and I think this might be the perfect opportunity to take it out for a walk.
Could you imagine how jealous your friends would be if, like, you came back to work, to the office, with just a hot tan, and just a T-shirt that said, "I survived Bowfinger Corner"? They're like, wait, you went to Royal Caribbean's Andromeda Galaxy of the Seas, the world's newest, largest cruise ship with Little Bosnia and the gentrified poop deck, and you actually got to spend time in Bowfinger Corner, and you're like, yes, I did.
I love it, dude. I love it. And I think that would look nice next to be like a Nathan for y'all Southern inspired.
I like that.
Business rehab center.
Yes.
Nathan for y'all.
I think that's it. And that's not just for cruise ships. I think any struggling city, a city that's looking to turn things around.
Yeah.
Attract more visitors, attract more tourists, attract more residents, people moving in. Why not take an old neighborhood that's not doing too well? Maybe, a lot of the business have gone, and just turn it all Bowfinger themed.
And to bring this full circle, I'm wondering which one of these neighborhoods, if given his own choice, are we going to find Philly Elmo at?
Dude, here's the thing about Philly Elmo. He is everywhere. He's everywhere all at once. He's like Santa Claus. You never know where he's going to show up, but you just know that, he's 2 blocks away right now, and he's coming my way.
I love it. I think he'd spice up any ship too, especially with the drumline, bringing it in. That's energy. That's entertainment. That is a vibe that's going to just march around. It's going to unify the whole ship. Make it
100%.
Make Philly feel, it's a bunch of different neighborhoods, but it can feel unified when we got Philly Elmo crunching around. Dude, I love these. I think this is so fun. And I'm also just kind of picturing like this Caribbean cruise, because that's where the ship goes. It does, loops around the East Caribbean, West Caribbean. And that would be an amazing time anyways, just going all those islands, spending it in the tropical weather. Nothing on your docket to do except enjoy yourself. But then there's all these different entertainment options, all these different neighborhoods to see. I think each one kind of has its own restaurants and local vibe for culinary stuff. How exciting. Another thing I did see in that article too.
Back to the Future, the musical.
There's Back to the Future, the musical. There's some kind of ice dancing show.
Yes.
There's
an ice rink in this cruise ship.
I think there has to be, unless like they're really putting a verbal spin that I don't understand on what ice dancing means. There's an ice rink in there that they do shows on.
Yeah.
And then I think they might melt down that rink for later on in the week, because there's also an aquatic show with professional divers and aerial stunts over the water. It really does sound kind of like the full Vegas experience on a boat.
You just need gambling and a dry heat. That's all it is.
There might be a little more humidity at sea, which I would expect and cherish and enjoy. And I think they're going to keep it a little more sterile, because one of the other stats that jumped out at me was like there's 5,000 and change room for people to come be on the ship for ticket carrying passengers. There is basically one staff member for every 2 people, Chip. Like the crew is 2,000 and change.
And apparently some of them know how to ice skate.
Oh yeah. Ice skating in that heat. That's ice skating on a tropical vessel has to be a very unique experience. That's the 1% of the 1% of professional ice skaters are doing that.
There's a lot of axles on that boat. Some of them are double, some of them are triple.
Triples, doubles, actual axles for working a ship.
We've never taken a cruise, Thomas.
Yeah.
We've talked about this, but this might be the one that I would take.
Yeah.
Although I will say, something about a little cruise ship that nobody wants to be on is also very, like, it's just, I just picture like a Wes Anderson kind of cruise ship. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like a almost not exactly Life Aquatic, because it's not necessarily nature based, but it's just like, it's something from the 1940s. It's outdated, but you would get a drink at the bar. You would get like a grasshopper.
Yeah.
Something like that. And you would just lay by the deck. Big band music would be playing. The food would be the staples, very meat and potatoes, literally. But you're like, all right, this is the 1940s. I'll take it. That actually might be more my speed.
Yeah, there's some character there.
What if you and I went the other way and we put the Sunburnt podcast branding behind it, raised a bunch of money?
Yeah, now we're
and
talking.
We created the world's smallest cruise ship.
Interesting.
So it's literally for one person.
Okay.
You book this ship. There's a staff of 4.
I like that.
It would be 4 crew members to every passenger. Granted, there's only one passenger.
Yeah.
And the boat would be maybe like a 25-footer.
Yeah.
You have a captain of a ship, a first mate. You have a cook. And you have somebody that does, again, that next person is going to have to do the cleaning, the entertainment, checking you in. They're going to have to wear that one character costume that you have. And again, it's going to be like an off-brand Porky Pig kind of situation.
Yeah, an off-brand Porky Pig, French made.
We don't have the licensing rights. We don't have that kind of money, but like every once in a while they'll slip on that little outfit and entertain you. And they would also have to know how to ice dance just a little bit, because the rink is extremely small.
It's cube size. Here's where I think we can differentiate, Chip. I think on this ship, instead of Star of the Sea, it's Star on the Sea.
Okay.
And that's because on this ship, You are the entertainment. You're the star. You're the talent. And every night, whatever talent you do or do not have, but you would like to wheel out in front of the whole ship, Chip,
Yeah.
is going to be in front of people who are paid to be there and also paid to celebrate you, to applaud for you, and then to tell you how good that was for the remaining 23 hours until you get back on that ship's stage again. You are the star on the sea on the Sunburnt podcast. Ships ahoy.
I love being celebrated, and I am ready to set sail.
And guess what? Guess when your birthday is?
When?
It doesn't matter, because every day is your birthday when you are the one passenger of the star on the sea. So you are performing with a belly full of cake every night. And people are saying, you don't look bloated.
No.
You don't have frosting on your face.
Yeah.
I don't know why these seagulls keep circling you. It must be because you have a star quality.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're the big star on the open ocean on the Sunburnt podcast cruise line, Chip.
The largest kahuna.
You're the largest kahuna on the teeniest cruise ship in the world.
Yeah.
I think we've got something here.
I do.
I think we've got something brewing.
Agreed. Yeah.
All right. If you are a multimillionaire who would like to invest in Sunburnt cruises, please send us a message at chip@electricobrian.com.
Send them my way. I am the business exec in this partnership.
You are. Yeah, that's true. Like, if there's two things we know, it is high finance and traveling on the high seas. This is a venture that you and I are ripe to
and
capitalize
how to
on.
access my email account.
Yes,
That's
that is
another
certain.
thing that I'm very good at. Yeah, we have it all. We're triple threats.
Yeah, email, finance, seafaring knowledge.
Yeah, prestige worldwide. I think we literally just created prestige worldwide.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I do hate it when we get on a roll and we've got a great idea, and then it is the butt of a joke from a movie of like somebody who was out of their depth or inept and what they decided to do. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like there's going to be a Judd Apatow movie that comes out potentially where it's a couple of knuckleheads who start a podcast and try to do a tropical comedy festival.
Yeah.
I could see that happening, unfortunately.
And one of the knuckleheads will be Paul Rudd.
Mm-hmm.
And his wife will be Leslie Mann, who's always like yelling from upstairs to like, knock off the racket.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm trying to do my podcast. She's like, you're 50 years old. Grow up.
This was a sign of the times. I was in Ojai with my wife a couple months ago. Mm-hmm. And there was some, like, I don't know how old they were, but they were younger than us. They were women in like kind of like yoga outfits having brunch at this place we were eating brunch at. And they were like, oh my God. They were talking about Leslie Mann. And they said, did you know that the actress Leslie Mann is actually Maude Apatow's mother?
Oh my God.
And then I joke you not, somebody else is like, yeah. And I think her dad like was a director.
That's great. It just goes to show you when you're not in the comedy business or maybe the entertainment business of like, it's just who you see on screen.
It's not even if you're in the business or not. I think it's just an age thing. Like they know who Maude Apatow is.
Oh, I see what you. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's their entry point in, and then they're just like, oh, and these other people like
they're watching Euphoria.
Yeah, Euphoria, which I've never seen a second of. But it's just such a different frame of reference. I'm just like Judd Apatow was like my hero growing up.
Right.
Like, and everybody else around him is like Leslie Mann's his wife. Maude Apatow, I didn't know because when I started being aware of who her father is, I don't even know if she was born yet.
Yeah, she probably most likely was not. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm a million, but he's a million and 10. So
I think you would do really well on Chill Island, Thomas. That's how old you are. Yeah.
Whew. Yeah.
There it is.
I've got the age. I'm an appropriately aged person to chill.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I did think that was interesting. I remember just being like, oh, we're on the same planet, but we're all living in different worlds, Chip.
Different galaxy. Same planet, different galaxy.
New number. Who dis?
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Let's move on to the next piece, which is like, it's exciting in a way,
Yeah.
but it's also terrifying in other ways.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you why it's exciting. It's because year over year, from last year to this year, travel prices to places like Las Vegas, Orlando, Hawaii are down.
Okay.
Isn't that exciting, Chip? We've got an article.
You seem hesitant about that though.
Well, the reason they're down is because demand is also down. Supply and demand. When there's demand for travel, when everybody's got flush bank accounts,
Sure.
When everybody has the same idea that they want to go and they feel comfortable, like they can go on vacation, they go on vacation, and the supply, the unavailable supply, the empty hotel rooms, the unsold tickets, they all go away. There's no inventory, so prices are up. Mm-hmm. But when people stop going, when people reduce their travel, then the supply is outsized and the prices have to go down to try and lure more people in.
We just got an Econ 101 right here. Breaking Econ 101 lecture. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of a macro. We can get into the micro later on.
All right.
But that's what it is. It's good news for us in theory.
Yeah.
But it is bad news kind of in general for everybody else. But it does mean that if you want to come to Chip Chantry's Thanksgiving in Paradise, according to this article, it's going to be a little cheaper than it would have even been last year.
That's why we waited, guys.
Yeah. We could have done this last year, but we were just like, what are we doing? Going at peak inflation?
Yeah.
No.
No, thanks.
No, thanks. So I know everybody thinks like things are really expensive right now, but when we're talking about tropical travel, it's actually cheaper than it would have been last year to go. According to this article, we have done zero research, but it was like, where was the article, Chip?
I think it was www.thomasobriensmom.org.
Yeah, so my mom does a lot of research. She compiles economic factors. Mm-hmm. She also looks up once a year plane tickets to Hawaii, Orlando, and Las Vegas, and she publishes those results on a blog. And then we are referencing them here to serve our purposes. No, I think it was like U.S. News and Report or something like that.
Yeah.
I actually do think I have it.
It's time to travel, buddy. That's what it is.
Oh, it's it's TravelPulse.com. That's where the article came from.
That's
classic U.S. News and Report. I don't know what Travel Pulse is.
I just remember just being a young child before we had a TV set in our house.
Yeah.
My brother and I would curl up in front of the radio and listen to the Superman serial, and Mother would be finishing the dishes, and Father would be sitting by the fire reading his pipe and open up to today's issue of Travel Pulse.
Travel Pulse.
And sometimes if one of us was a little unruly, or let's say, it was a different time back then, Thomas. But if our dog, Mr. Snaps, was barking too loud or caused a mess, my father would roll up that copy of Travel Pulse and smack Mr. Snaps right on the snout.
Everybody knows Travel Pulse. Everybody grew up with it. It's been in our homes and lives for years, and it is the number one resource on economic data for the travel sector.
When I was a young man trying to raise money for the community center, I went door to door selling subscriptions to Travel Pulse.
You had a nice Travel Pulse route going.
I had a nice and then it led to that where I was the neighborhood's Travel Pulse boy, where I would roll up those copies of Travel Pulse and throw them on everybody's front porch every morning at 6 a.m.
Yeah, you can trust Travel Pulse like a big warm glass of milk and a hearty egg bacon breakfast.
Right, and my father, and his father actually grew up during the Great Depression, where he would literally stand on the corner in New York City, in Little Bosnia, and sell with his little Jeff cap and sell copies of TravelPulse. Extra. Travel prices are down. TravelPulse. Get your copy of TravelPulse, and everybody would, run around them. Yeah. And then if you remember,
yeah,
whenever there was a travel movie made in the 1940s, one of two things would happen when they were transitioning between scenes. It would either be like you would see that map, and then like a sort of crudely drawn airplane would travel across the ocean with the line behind it just to designate where on the map they've been.
Indiana Jones,
exactly. And or they would just do like a spinning visual of TravelPulse with and then freeze on today's headline. Yeah.
So we all know it. We all trust it. It's beyond reproach. And I don't know, did the college you go to have a big journalism school?
Yes, I actually went to TravelPulse for undergrad. I went to TravelPulse U for undergrad.
Oh, wow. So you went to the actual... We just had a class at the University of Oregon, the journalism school. There was just one of the early classes. It was kind of a weed-out class because I think it's so important but so hard, was how to find the pulse of travel.
Well, okay. I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's got to be a tough one because everybody thinks they're going to be a TravelPulse writer, but then you have to separate the men from the boys.
The writers from the wannabes, the players from the pretenders.
Yes.
You got to get that separate. But it's just it's so much harder to find the pulse of travel than to say human being. And that's what doctors do. And they go to school for 8 years for that.
Absolutely.
But it's I think there's just some people who can and some people who can't. So they kind of boil it down to one class in most major journalism schools, from what I understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this has been very silly, Chip.
I think it's been very productive. I think, speaking of productive, you know what we need to do? Speaking of the greatest publications in the world.
Oh, right. Yes. Let's do it.
Let's open the good book. It is time to crack open the good book, ladies and germs, burnt ones out there. We're talking Guinness Book of World Records.
We certainly are. We're working off the 2025 edition, and every week we each bring you just an absolute heater.
Yeah.
An absolute heater of a fact. We love the good book. We love human beings pushing themselves to the natural limit. And Chip, what are we going to be exploring with you today? Earlier in the podcast, you promised that your fact, your Guinness Book of World Records, was going to be Horde.
There is
rock horde.
There's not a single goose suit in this story.
We goosed him up a little bit.
What are you doing, man? What are you doing? We just goosed him.
You know that's the costume I've been fighting for 2 years for my child for Halloween. I want my daughter to be dressed up as a little buff boy. And I have no less than 50 times searched infant goose suit. And even Google's like, huh?
Yeah.
There is one of and I don't think it would work. It's called Chompy or something like that. But it is definitely, from the way I view it, a very buff. It's kind of a buff suit for a baby, and it's got boxing gloves on.
Okay.
But the skin color is definitely Asian, somebody who's Chinese or something like that.
Right.
And I don't think that would be an appropriate fit for my baby.
Yeah, you don't want that to be. Yeah, you don't need her college admissions office to be looking at her 2-year-old Halloween costume.
Or is that going to, kind of divert the focus from the photoshopped photos I have of her playing water polo?
That is true. Yeah, I guess so. That either of those might not pass the smell test. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, it seems offensive, but I've gone deep enough into the reservoir of baby costumes, looking for a buff baby option that I did get to definitely I think maybe Thailand kickboxer,
right?
Full body suit with tattoos and everything.
What episode number is this, Thomas?
This is episode number 28, if you can believe that.
Okay, so it's taken 28 28 episodes till you've said the most disturbing thing I think I've ever heard, which is, I think we can run the tape back, but I think you said, I have reached the depths of the infant costume reservoir. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere along that.
It definitely sounds like a place on a world in a Marvel movie that no one wants to go to, and that could get you potentially in a lot of trouble. And I think you're going to find a goose suit at the bottom of that reservoir.
That's what I keep hoping.
Yep.
I'm searching around. It was one of the rejected neighborhoods on the Star of the Seas.
Yeah.
The infant costume reservoir.
Yeah, and also rejected Goose Suit Oaks was another one.
It's a goose suit. God, I'm ready for some more. I think you should leave. I think they should make more of that.
Yeah, I think so.
That's just my 2 cents, though, Chip.
Okay, but they may have the world record for the funniest sketch show of all time. But I have a record that literally is Horde. This might be the most like remember what we talked about, like in the old Guinness Book of World Records, there was like those ones that were a little like dicey, and I think I talked about it maybe 2 episodes ago, where I talked about Harley the professional lunatic, the guy who had he was on the bed of 4 nails. Where like
by the way, let's hold on for 1 second.
Yeah,
people have been going nuts for Harley the professional lunatic.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's just like, emails. Last night when I was out, a couple of people were like, "What? This guy's for real?" Like, specifically talking about the Saran wrap thing. They're like, "I need to see this before I die."
I've seen it, I think 3 times, like it with sitting 5 feet away, and it's incredible.
I mean,
but yeah, just look up like Harley professional lunatic, Harley sideshow, and there's videos out there. I mean, it is. I don't know if there's videos of all of that, but man, what an entertainer. And yeah, it's great.
I mean, does he have Thanksgiving plans, Chip?
If I could get him out to LA or out to Hawaii, man.
That's a double bill, buddy.
Yeah.
That's a double bill. Have you ever been opened for by a professional lunatic?
In the stand-up comedy world, many times.
I guess that's almost exclusively what
Ask
the
me
feature act.
if I haven't been opened by a professional lunatic.
That's true. What's the wildest opener you ever had?
I can't even say it on the podcast. I don't even want to say it. But like, there was a guy one time, and it was pretty recent, 2-3 years ago, and we were out in the suburbs. It was sort of my hometown, and it was this like brewery show, but it was like everybody's really cool and they were really into it. But it was like a suburban crowd, like whatever. They weren't like the wildest people in the world. And this dude went on, so it was like a bit of a showcase. There's like 4 of us on the show, I think. And then he goes up and for 8 minutes talks about the most horrific acts that you could perform on a human being for like 8 minutes.
What do you mean acts on a human? Like, or is it like a weird fetish?
Yeah. Let's just call it that. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just call it that. And and then just left the stage. And then I have to do 45 minutes after that.
And then you're like, you guys ever notice how seagulls are kind of bopping around?
They're kind of weird, huh? Yeah. Yeah, I did. I literally, it was so crazy. I had to address it for the first 2 minutes. Like, I had to talk about it. I'm like, I guess I'm not going to do my chunk on that. And then, like, sorry guys, but yeah, I guess we really wrote the same parallel thinking. It's not thievery, but we wrote the same exact material.
You got to lift those jaws back up off the floor somehow before you can return to the comedy.
Speaking of lifting jaws, let's do this. Congratulations to world record holder, Croatia's own Vidomir Marisic. I think it is. There's a lot of punctuation going on. A lot of accent marks, and I mean there was like 4 or 5 of them just in his last name. But it's Vidomir Marisic, I believe, is what it is. He's Croatian. He holds the record for the longest voluntarily held breath underwater.
I mean, this one spooks me, Chip.
Yep.
This one's, I mean, holding breath is something I've never been great at.
No.
Drowning is a big fear.
It's scary. Yep.
Oh,
and by the way, I just love the fact that it is the record for the longest voluntarily held breath underwater. Because there have been people who have involuntarily held their breath underwater and the record is still going. They've been doing it forever.
Yeah,
you know?
Jimmy Hoffa
type
record.
Yeah, exactly. He is still holding that breath, which is good for him. Congrats. I want you to take a guess. What is the time limit that he held his breath for underwater? And I will say, and I will get into it more, I don't want to give too much away, he did have a little bit of, what's the word I'm looking for? He had a little bit of, like, technological help before setting this record.
Okay. I'm going to say something. I know it's a world record, so I know it's going to be unreasonable. So I'm going to up what my actual guess is just to try and be closer. I'm going to go 16 minutes.
Very good, Thomas. Very good. Okay. 16 minutes holding your breath.
Mm-hmm.
He set the record. He beat the former record by 5 minutes.
Whoa.
Not by like 10 seconds, by 5 minutes he held his breath underwater for 29 minutes and 3 seconds.
That's dying. There's no way. How is that?
That's an entire episode of 2.5 Men with the commercials.
With the yeah, no, that's a full. That's
29 minutes.
How do you need more breath? You need air, Chip.
No, you don't. Apparently, here's what he did. So, by the way, there is a separate record that we're going to get to of just somebody going and then holding their breath. Okay.
Yeah.
He did have some some medical help with this. So, basically, what he did was. And by the way, I should say, we're going to get into this a little bit. He's a free diver.
Okay.
Where like free diving is where you like dive down for a long time, whatever. We'll kind of get into that. I think he did this basically sort of just in like an above ground pool. It wasn't like he went down in I think he was in a pool of water. But what he did, and I don't know if I guess free divers do this or whatever, but for 10 minutes prior to this record, to him going underwater, he inhaled pure oxygen. Which you're not really supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like the air that we breathe is mostly nitrogen. You get a little oxygen in there. We're always breathing it. So he had basically like a scuba tank kind of situation sitting there, and he breathed in pure oxygen for 10 minutes.
Wow.
So that gave him 5 times the amount of oxygen as usual in his body. He had 5 times the amount of oxygen. It increased the oxygen levels not only in his red blood cells, which that's where you need the oxygen, but also in his plasma, which apparently, like, I guess the body doesn't naturally do. So, like, there was just so much oxygen that he had it in his red blood cells, in the plasma, so it kind of stored up that oxygen. So he just had a bunch of that oxygen. He was just breathing it in for 10 minutes. He had 5 times the normal amount of oxygen in his body as like a normal person, plus he's like a crazy free diver, and then the second part is what I think makes him relatable to you and I. For the second part of it, he went underwater and he just chilled. He used as little oxygen as possible. He brought that pulse down. He wasn't doing a lot of movements. He just chilled for almost a half hour and came up 29 minutes and 3 seconds later. Beat the old record by 5 minutes.
And the old record was using like similar techniques, you think?
I would have to assume so. So now let's go to this. I do have this. What do you think the record for the longest unassisted held breath is? Like without like the oxygen tanks or whatever.
Okay, I'm going to go with my original thing because that's what I thought we were talking about.
Yeah.
I didn't even know something like this.
Right.
Pure
That's why
oxygen
I kind of
existed. I'll say 16 minutes.
16 minutes. It was 11 minutes, 35 seconds. So 11 minutes.
That's still too long.
It's still way too long. And that was by, I believe his name is Branko Petrovic of Serbia. Man, there's, all those guys down in those countries, I think they would feel very at home in little Bosnia. It's right there. Serbia, Croatia.
Yeah.
It's all right there.
What places do you hold your breath in real life?
If I go swimming, which is very rare.
Yeah.
when I walk past somebody like in a bus station that looks like they probably have COVID.
Avoiding, illnesses, avoiding smells.
That's pretty much it.
Like when you clean up after Franklin.
Yeah.
Is there a hold breath scenario there, or are you just kind of like, we're gonna do this?
More if I did the cats, because the cats are indoor. Outdoor, it's not usually. You get some fresh air.
Oh,
so,
I'm holding my breath. I can't handle that at all.
Okay.
I also hold my breath for tunnels. Always do.
Oh, okay. So you do that. Okay. Yeah.
I do that. I'm getting a wish out of it. And then the other time I hold my breath, and this is a non-negotiable.
Yep.
Is if somebody goes underwater in a movie.
You have to hold your breath just to see.
I will
how
hold my
realistic
breath
this
to
would be.
see like how much strife they should be in.
Yeah.
Like Titanic, anything where we're going underwater in a ship, anything where you need to go underwater in a cave. I am holding my breath to try. I mean, and I can't do it for very long. It's like to get to even a full minute is impossible for me.
It's difficult, man.
It's difficult. So these people going 10x, 30x past that.
Yeah.
I'm just like, maybe some of these movies are a little more accurate than I'm giving them credit for.
I guess so. And again, these guys are free divers, so it's basically like you're kind of scuba diving without the tanks. You're just going down for as long as you can, 10 minutes, I guess, at a time, and they can do this. And it always just bothers me that free diver where, like, I always feel like whenever you put free in front of an activity, it just makes it way more dangerous and scary.
That's true.
Like free diving, free solo climbing. Did you see the movie Free Solo Climbing? Free Solo?
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
So crazy.
Free diving, free solo climbing, freelancing. That's scary. You never know where your next job is coming from.
And you don't have benefits.
No.
So if it does go wrong.
It's if you want to go to the doctor, don't hold your breath.
Yeah.
Freestyle rapping.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can get some trouble freestyling.
If you can't think of a word that rhymes with, lima bean, then you're stuck, right? And then the scariest one, I think, free samples.
Free samples.
Free samples. You're in that grocery store, and they have a chocolate-covered Rice Krispie treat that they just want you to see, take it for a spin, kick the tires.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is dangerous. I think I should be holding my breath. But instead, I'm going to open that mouth many, many times.
I think another thing that is more substantially dangerous when you put free in front of it is pets. Like free dog, free cat. That's a more dangerous dangerous acquisition.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah. So, but anyway, congratulations to Croatia's own Vidomir Marasic for the longest voluntarily held breath underwater, 29 minutes, 3 seconds.
And you know what? That means that he only needs 2 breaths to get through your whole set at Chip Chantry's Thanksgiving in Paradise.
Honestly, he just needs 1, really. Like, he holds his breath. I guess he's at the beginning, but then he holds his breath, and then halfway through, he's got to be like, and be like, sir, can you please quiet down? And then he's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not buying too many drinks that night. There might be a 2-item minimum. I don't know.
Oh, I think there definitely is. It's not 2-item. It's a $20 minimum.
Okay. All right.
So I mean, he can really get through that, but I guess 1 big exhale, maybe 1 big sip, and then 1 big inhale.
And he'll be doing what my favorite movie title of all time is. He will be waiting to exhale.
You do love waiting to exhale.
Love it. Speaking of 1990 movies, 1999. I'm going to say that's 1999. Waiting to exhale. Maybe 1996.
I feel like it's got to be a little earlier.
Yeah, 1994, 95. Waiting to exhale.
Who is that? Is that Whitney Houston?
I want to say it is. Yeah. I could be wrong.
What a talent! What an absolute talent!
And what a set of lungs.
Oh, it's true. It's true. I bet she could have held it. I bet she could have held it if she needed to. Maybe that's how she practiced. Maybe that's how she grew strength in her diaphragm and chest.
Yeah, probably free diving. Yeah.
It's time to jump over to my world record.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm not going to lie. I picked this one largely in part because the picture in the good book is of a young man on a beach wearing a Hawaiian-style polo shirt, it looks like. And I'm just like, this is a burnt one.
Yep.
He got in the good book and he chose to wear a floral with a collar.
Good for
like
him.
this is the kind of person that we're going to cover, the kind of person we're going to celebrate. And it's also a 3-timer world record holder, Chip.
Good for him.
3-timer. So on July 14th of 2023, Aiden Webster of the USA kept 3 torches in the air while juggling while they were flaming for the longest time in history on a beach in St. Petersburg, Florida.
So juggling flaming torches for the longest length.
In air, yes, for the longest length.
Literally a burnt one.
Literally a burnt one on the beach in a floral, having the time of his life, pushing the limits that nobody else has pushed before.
Yeah.
It must be harder than I think, because the time period for this is a little shorter than I would actually have guessed.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're juggling, so that's a lot, and then you have to keep them lit. So it's like, how do you...
I think the lit part is the hardest portion.
Because it's going to burn down the fuel or whatever. Yeah.
Because you can juggle all day.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen people juggle all day. But
Sure.
do you want to take a guess at how long he kept these baddies in the air and burning?
See, it could be really long or it could be short. Like, is it 5 minutes and then it burns out? Is it... you know what? Okay, I'm going to go 7 minutes.
Chip. So you're actually so close.
Yeah.
You were so close. You were even closer. You were warmer beforehand. You were closer to the temperature of the heat. You were hotter.
Mm-hmm.
It was 5 minutes and 2 seconds.
Wow. Because he can juggle probably for longer than that, but to keep them lit.
I think it's to keep them lit. And here's the other thing. That was only one of 3 records he set that day. That day. Yeah.
All right, so he's got the burnt juggling sticks.
He's got the longest juggling burning torches.
Yep.
He also set the record for most one-up back somersaults in 1 minute.
Whoa.
That's 11. And he set the record. This one is insane. Set the record for most juggling catches in 1 minute with one hand while dead hanging from an object.
Oh my God.
So like he's dead hanging and he's juggling 2 balls.
So like from like a pull-up bar kind of situation.
Yeah, dangling from a pull-up bar with one hand and then juggling 2 balls with the other hand. And he did that 162 times.
And these are juggling balls.
Yes.
Okay.
Or actually, it doesn't say balls. It says juggling catches in 1 minute.
Okay. All right. Okay, good.
Talk about a talented pup.
Yeah, like did he do them simultaneously? Which one did he do first?
Yeah, I would imagine the least strenuous has to be juggling for 5 minutes. I'm not saying it's the easiest. There's a lot of factors there. Fire's involved.
You want to be sharp too for that one. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to be sharp for that one. But I think the one-ups has to be the most strenuous. And I would guess the hanging, which according to the American or the President's Council on Fitness, barely considers exercise. That's what George Michael was very good at in Arrested Development.
Yes, he did.
So that's probably the second least strenuous. I don't know. Yeah, if you're going in order, I almost feel like you want to do the hardest one last.
Yeah, building up to it, I guess. Yeah.
Because you got to do these other ones. They're fine-tuned, like very technical challenges.
Right.
And if you have muscle fatigue, it's going to be tougher to accomplish those things.
Absolutely.
And I do think that, like, if you juggled for 5 minutes before doing the one-arm, what's it called? The one-up back somersaults.
Yeah.
I feel like doing a little bit of juggling before that wouldn't really hurt your flow.
That's true. That is true. Yeah.
3 records, 1 day, all on the beach, a true burnt one.
Good for him, man. It makes me feel we need to get some records out on the books because these guys are doing great things.
They're doing great things, but like what I liked about him is I think it's probably challenging to get the good book to come see you.
Yeah.
So if they're going to make the trip to St. Petersburg to come watch you do your thing, you might want to have a couple other tricks up your sleeves. You can get a hat trick, just like Aiden.
I wonder what the world record for world records is. How many world records set in one day? He's got to be up there.
We actually at one point covered that on Whacked Out Videos, I believe.
Okay.
It was not quite Whacked Out Sports, Whacked Out Videos.
Whacked Out Videos.
And there was a dude who was, claimed to be addicted to setting world records. And it was just, he was doing a bunch of stuff on the bottom of pools. I think he was doing some stuff on pogo sticks. Like, he was really just taking wide shots. He was going at it with a shotgun. Wasn't really aiming at anything specific.
No
just
precision.
Like, if he saw some low-hanging fruit, he got the biggest piece of that low-hanging fruit. You know what I mean? And it's a new world record.
Yeah.
But 3 in a day, that might be a record. I don't know how many people have done 3 in a day.
No, I haven't. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, we're like pigs. We're hunting for those record truffles. We got our noses in the dirt, and we're scooting around trying to find something that we can do.
Yeah.
We do have a couple of ideas. We've talked about it. The most Hawaiian shirts worn.
Yep.
In one place. We think that one is well within our grasp in the next 2 to 3 years.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of innovative thinking that can lead you to a record, just the same way elite performance can.
And I think what we're doing is very elite.
And speaking of elite, I think it's time that we shift to talking about the greatest burnt one of all time,
Mr. Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett. We are just obsessed with this man. We celebrate his whole career. We celebrate his life. We're sad that he's gone, but we've been doing some digging, and we found some amazing positive facts about his life. And once again, like we do every episode, we're gonna share one each with you.
Absolutely. My Jimmy Buffett fact was inspired. I saw it and I was like, oh, this is just like very similar to my world record today. So I thought it was very appropriate that I chose this one. Jimmy Buffett never went scuba diving in the Caribbean. He just used his gills.
A lot of people don't know that. He was so adapted to the ocean and the ocean lifestyle that his body also followed suit.
Yeah, well, it's that it sounds like maybe like a flute or a recorder or some sort of instrument in Margaritaville where it's like do 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 do. That's actually just him whistling through the gills.
Gill whistling.
Oh,
what a talent, dude.
Yeah.
What a talent. It's odd because my Jimmy Buffett fact also revolves around the water.
Okay.
But it was like less how he operated in the water and more how the water operated around him.
Yeah.
Jimmy Buffett never worried about the ocean's tides. But the ocean worries obsessively about navigating Jimmy's vibes.
I love it. I would 100% agree with that. I think the ocean moves in mysterious ways, and one of those keys to that mystery is Mr. Jimmy Buffett.
From my understanding, there was 2 main poles on the ocean, and one is the moon's position around the Earth, the gravitational pull, and then just kind of what Jimmy was doing, what he was throwing out there into the universe, wave-wise.
I mean, I think we just learned about science. We just learned a little bit about nature, maybe about the cosmos. And most importantly, Mr. Jimmy Buffett.
And I think a little bit about ourselves.
Oh, I think we learned a lot about ourselves today.
Dude, I will tell you one thing about this episode. I think it went horde.
It went horde. This episode went horde.
And it's so horde to say goodbye, but that's what we got to do, Chip. It's time to wrap this baddie up. This is the Sunburnt podcast where we talk about comedy and tropical travel. Until next time, stay burnt. Front desk.
Hey, this is Mr. Chancery in room 308. I was wondering if you could come up here real quick. And by the way, have you seen the movie Tommy Boy?
Mr. Chantry, I'm not coming up there and reenacting that scene from Tommy Boy. And I can't/won't do that accent.
All right, well, can I come down and do it to you?
I can't stop you.
Be right down.